The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on.
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
11, 7, 3, and 1. 11 races in the books, 7 points separating 3 drivers at the top of the points, and 1 race remaining on the schedule. Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championships comes to the banks of the Lambro River and the famous Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. It's the Season 5 finale, and all the open-wheel simulated action from both the 40-minute opening feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Ciao, everyone, and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. I'm Bill Soupson, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose. The best in the business, Amjad Yaman, is our director, and Dougie Beard, our camera guru. If you brought cyberspace into your place, then over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the double-header Formula Renault 2.0 Championship season-ending event that will immediately follow. So with that being said, the final race of the season, and with only 7 points separating Christian Koch, René Oosterkamp, and Christian Tkac in the championship, the last round at Okayama played a big role in setting things up for today's finale. A smallish field of 24 drivers took the grid with veteran Christian Koch on the pole inside a hot shoe newcomer Mark Usher. Early days saw Koch leading with Usher making stab after stab and failed attempts to get to the front. Very close behind those two raced Gunnar Nienhuis, Kerry Nolden, Christian Tkac, and René Oosterkamp. With 17 minutes to race, Nolden made a move on third. On the inside of Nienhuis, Nolden made the pass, but the two cars made contact. The damage forced Exterlon pit stops for both and took both out of the hunt for the win. 5 minutes later, just before the pit stops, Usher finally got around Koch for the lead. After the stops, the order was Usher, Koch, Tkac, and Oosterkamp. With 6 minutes to go while leading, Usher made a small mistake and fell back to fourth, only to make a more serious mistake 2 laps before the end of the race that forced his early retirement. Koch brought it home for the win, just ahead of Tkac, with Oosterkamp taking the final podium spot. Nienhuis made a good recovery to take fourth. 18 cars finished on the lead lap, which meant that when the lead cars were inverted for the sprint race, Ben Scott found himself on the pole inside of Silvio Hurt. Alain-Philippe André and Oscar Mangan filled up row 2. André led for the first 3 laps until his roommate Mangan took over the lead on lap 4. Mangan took it home from there, picking up his first win in his first AOR event. The top 2 drivers in the championship points race, Koch and Oosterkamp, had worked their way through the field to go second and third. So, who was the big winner for the event? Well, a feature win and a sprint runner-up made Koch the top point earner with 50 points. Oosterkamp earned 40 thanks to a pair of thirds. Tkac had 34. An 11th place finish in the sprint was costing him. Adam Tierney collected 31 on the heels of a 7th and a 4th. And drawing a pair of 6s was rounding out the overlay there is the Orange Viking Knut Martinsen. And now, let's reintroduce my partner, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Sean, let's talk a little bit about the track today.
Soup, officially called Autodromo Nazionale Monza. The track is located in the city of Monza, north of Milan, Italy. They built it in 1922. Was the world's third purpose-built racetrack. One of those, besides Monza, is left Indy. The other one was Brooklands in Surrey, England. Parts of that course actually still exist. You can see them when you visit England. The track's proximity to the Ferrari headquarters in Maranello makes Monza the unchallenged home of the Italian Grand Prix, being held here every year except for one. Over the years, the track has gone through several layout changes, including the construction of a high bank oval, built in 1954. At this very moment, the final touches are being put on the latest changes that include removing the Renault chicane and reworking Curva Grande. But for us today, it'll be the familiar 5.8 kilometer, 11-turn layout race fans have come to know and love. The best way to get an understanding of what these drivers are in for is to jump on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0 and take a lap around Monza.
Alright, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Monza. Coming down the front stretch, one of your best passing opportunities is down into Rettifilo. This is helped tremendously by the draft, so expect slipstream games to happen all day long. The tricky thing is the first chicane is very narrow, so it's not uncommon to see drivers get tangled up trying to go side by side. I can't tell you how many battles I've seen end in tears here because neither side was willing to give way. From there, we now come around Curva Grande. There's not much to it in the Renault, so just do your best to lessen the steering angle to keep from scrubbing off speed. Drift off to the right, spot your brake marker, and then slow it up for Della Roggio. The runoff here looks inviting, but the sleeping policeman means it's bad news to try to take this slow-slung Formula car over those bumps. Also expect the exit to get very dirty from the gravel to the left. Then it's a short burst to the first Lesmo. Ideally you want to tackle this with a late apex, or else it's easy to understeer wide. Another quick straight, and you're into the second tighter Lesmo. This is an incredibly critical turn to nail if you want to keep cars from having an easy time passing you. That's because it takes you onto this long straight among the trees that's going to dip under the old banking. Then, as it rises back up, you'll brake for Ascari. This final chicane is another good spot to attempt to pass, but it's honestly pretty different from the others. It's faster, and there's 3 apexes instead of 2. Try to focus on your exit from the final left flick to make sure you won't be vulnerable heading down into the Parabolica. And even though I say that, keep in mind that this 180-degree bend is not ideal for passing anyways. There's a couple reasons for this, and they're not all that obvious at first glance. Not only does the final turn have a short braking zone, the fact that it leads onto the pit straight means anyone close enough to have a whiff of your draft is going to slingshot right by. Add in the potential effect of an over-under move, and if you're the car behind, it might be better to simply wait. But as we come to the line, we've now finished a lap around Monza.
I'm Jed Yaman on the wheel, Joe Peak on the mic, taking us around Monza. Now, before we take a look at the point standings, we can report that these driver numbers are now, that these driver numbers are now the official dropped race numbers confirmed by the series officials. So, what we're seeing on screen here does include drops. Let's bring up those points now. Oh, there's your leader, Christian Koch, just so close behind René Oosterkamp. Let's face it, folks, this race today in the Drivers' Championship is going to come down to 3 drivers, all right? You got Christian to catch René Oosterkamp, trying to catch Christian Koch. It's the battle of the Christians and Oosterkamp stuck there in the middle. Gunnar Niehaus in 4th may have that locked down. We'll see. Anything can happen today. Kerry Nolan in 5th. Phil Reed, his teammate there for Aperture, in 6th. Godin is in 7th, and Knut Martinsen there in 8th. Coming up 2 spots to get up to 8th. Down a couple is Kessler. Patrick Kessler having a tough go here, but a chance to get it back today. But Daniel Morris up to the 10th and now within the top 10 and looking for a little more today. He's pretty close to Kessler and Knut Martinsen, so we'll see. Now let's look at the team standings. And, there's that Aperture Motorsports team there. Reed, Nolden, they've had a great season. But hey, to catch Morris right behind him, 36 points. That could be made up today. Then you've got Koch and Mittner down there in 3rd. Oosterkamp and Vecchio in 4th. 5th going to be Imre, and that's the Force Fizzy team. Evan Imre and Knut Martinsen. And down to 6th, it was them up to 5th, but down to 6th, Gunnar Niehaus and his brother Yannick Niehaus. Then in 7th there, Ivo Godin and Cowie. 8th, Tierney and Holstein. Up to 9th, McLeod and De Rijk. And down to 10th is going to be Andre and De Cortel. Down to 10th. And there are the team standings as they sit right now. We've reviewed the last race. We've introduced the track, gone over the driver and team championships. Now let's review the nuts and bolts of the series. Welcome to Season 5. This is the final round today, round 12 of 12. 2 drop events allowed, and we covered that with the points already, the combined feature and sprint total. This is the Formula Renault 2.0, just about 2,000 cc's, 4-cylinder, 16-valve, naturally aspirated power. This is a fast machine. This track is going to be wicked fun today with open setup, 40% of fuel. And we get 2 races today. We have a feature race. This first one's going to be 40 minutes. And in our sprint race following immediately after, 25 minutes, the starts. Standing, of course, no time to heat up the tires or get any grip. No fast repairs allowed. There is an incident cap. We'll go over that in just a little bit. Soup, how you doing, buddy?
I had to step away there for a minute. A pretty girl went by, caught my attention, but now I'm back.
I see. All right, well, let's talk about today's event right now. We've got the feature race coming up. It's 40 minutes long. Now, we're in qualifying right now, just under 3 minutes left, and it's a 3-lap lone qualifying. Now, the 40-minute race, because of that 40% of fuel, 40 and 40, we're going to see one stop. It's a very large window, somewhere about laps 9 and 21. So really, you can get a lot out of the tank, but as we've seen in most of these races, I think everybody has a number they're comfortable with. It's generally halfway. The incident cap is going to be 13 X's today in this race, and you lose half of your championship points if you get to 13. If you get to 17, you're going to drop out. You'll disappear from the event. That's a disqualification. And Soup, feature race is going to be one to watch. We were watching the practice times earlier. A minute and 48 seconds is about as fast as you're going to get around here. Oscar Mangan, not a lot of practice, but was able in the practice session to set, I believe that was a 148.3 he had there in practice with only 2 laps of practice in, and he just moved up the board with his third lap completed, sitting provisionally now in third.
Yeah, I'm sure that while I was trying to talk to the very attractive woman, and she saw my wedding ring, that put an end to that. I'm assuming that you went over the points championship before while I was gone.
I did.
Yes,
I did. And boy, what a fight we've got on our hands today, Sue.
Yeah, and when you bring up Mangan, he's kind of the fly in the ointment right now in qualifying. Osterkamp and Tkach, who are only there's 7 points separate the leaders there. They're sitting 1 and 2, but Mangan is in there. Alessio Tejas, you get Kerry Nolden. It's a long time before you get to the guy at the top of the point, Christian Koch. He's qualified 8th right now, so he's got some work cut out for him. And Sean, I don't know if I want to be in 8th with that first corner. That's what we were talking about before the race. Let's hope they can get through that first chicane.
Yeah, well, all right. So we set the over-under at 5 cars. Getting involved in something, I said I'd take the over. Turn 1. I'm sorry. Variante del Retafilio is going to be it's going to be tricky. Okay, let's face it. You're up to full speed when you get there, and you got to get on the brakes. You got to get that car to turn in a very, very tight chicane. Everybody's going to drag race down to it. Who's going to survive it? We'll see here in about less than a minute. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe just going straight through that one and taking the slowdown penalty somewhere on the back half of the track might be the best way to get around the first lap of this one. Couple drivers who are not here today. The hot shoe that has come on, Mark Usher, not showing up. But otherwise, we have a pretty darn big field.
Yeah, but Usher not here. I did hear, though, that we may have an appearance by Rihanna before the day is over. So,
all right, let's go ahead and set the grid right now as qualifying is done. On the front row, it's René Osterkamp and Christian Tkach. They sit 2nd and 3rd in the points. Newcomer Oscar Mangan in 3rd position inside of Ty McLeod. Row 3, Alessio Tejas and Kerry Nolden. The 4th row is going to be mid Christoph Holstein and Adam Thierry. 9th and 10th, our points leader Christian Koch and Lauren Sudden Strike to Reich. Sean?
Row 6 going to be Daniel Morris, Phil Reed. Go to row 7, Knut Martinson, Manuel Hoyer. Row 8, Evan Imre, Patrick Kessler. Row 9, Andy Cowie, the Milkman, Jerome de Cortel, 18th. Ashley Howell sitting in 19th today on row 10, and Jean-Francois Godin gonna round out the top 20.
In Hidden Blackjack, it's Alan Philippe Andre, Bruno Dometer in the double duck spot, Lee Robinson and Alexander Trowbridge, a new driver, sitting 23rd and 24th. Sarah Dove, welcome back to the season, to the series in the quarter century mark. Odd Jonas Villeman in 26th. 27th and 28th, Urka Lindstrom and Little Stevie Chambers of Flying V. Ben Scott and Victoria Saltalamacchia, 29th and 30th. 2 drivers who did not put in qualifying times, Silvio Hurt and Mark Forte. Hurt is out on the grid right now. Not sure if Mark Mark. There comes Mark. 32 drivers on the entry list. It looks like 32 drivers are going to take the grid with Renee Osterkamp and Christian Tkach sitting on the front row. And again, just to emphasize the point championship, those are the two guys who need to make up some ground on Christian Koch. Right now, if Martians were to attack, I would think Osterkamp would be your series champion, as Koch is way far back there in 9th position right now. Lots of cars separating between Osterkamp and Tkach. You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Keep an eye on that yellow machine up front. That is Osterkamp. In the red and white car, that is Tkach. And they're off. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows. A great drive from Tkach, as I think he's going to lead the stampede of cars into the first chicane. Easy, boys, now. Here we go as they work through this right-left chicane. 1, 2, they go 3 wide behind. It's a parking lot, but so far everybody taking their time. Nope.
Oh.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 cars involved. Couple of them look like they are the lime and blue cars, and it goes on for more. How involved this continues. Oh, it's going to be a long replay, as it's not only the incident first, it continues to be ugly. It continues as I speak. They continue to crash into each other. We will get this one, but it's ugly. Another car off into the sand. It looks like that is Godin. I want to see if Koch was able to get through it. It looks like he did. Right now, Christian Koch racing in 8th position. That's good news for our points leader. Out in front, though, it is still Tkach, who got that jump, leading the way on Osterkamp. Mangan, the newcomer, running in 3rd. McLeod and Kerry Nolden, 4th and 5th, Sean.
Soup, unless this race gets incredibly boring, we may have to save that replay from the opening there till the end of this race. That was a total mess. There were at the very least, 15 cars involved. In one way or another, towards the back of the pack. The leaders got off to a great break, but big trouble for a lot of drivers, several drivers in the pits already. We'll go over that in a few minutes.
Yeah, honestly, that crash is too big for us to cover during the action, so stick with us. We'll get it at the end of the race or maybe in the break between. That was quite an event. Looking for the good news is, though, that your point leader got through. Christian Koch, at least what I can tell, he got through clean. Racing now in 9th position. I ran down the top 5 for you. Let me take you back a little bit farther. 6th position. This is Adam Tierney, but right now he's being challenged by another guy, a rookie to the series, Aisio Telius, making the move down into the first and the main straight as they come into Rettifilio. Let's see how that works out. Telius is going to have the preferred position. I think there's going to be an easy pass there, and Tierney's probably is going to drop into 7th. The next car's back. Daniel Mortis, there's a Red Devil racer. Remember, there's a T Championship as well. He's hoping to be able to catch the aperture, guys. Red Devil racing there. Morris running in 8th position. 9th is Koch, and 10th is Manuel Hoyer.
Well, Osterkamp just took the lead back from Christian Tkach. Tkach attacking again. Getting through De La Rogia right now. Osterkamp with a good run out of there.
Now, there are bonus points for leading laps, for being the fastest lap, winning the pole, and for having a clean race. And right now, remember that Osterkamp was 4 points ahead of Tkach. He's now 5 points ahead thanks to his pole that he won. That very important bonus point could be the turning point in the championship. The good news for both these guys is they have a big cushion back to the guys they are trying to check, and that is Koch. Koch, apparently, Sean, does not like Monza. He's usually much faster, but didn't qualify well, not racing all that fast.
Yeah, listen. Some people are a fan of this track and this configuration. Some aren't. When you look at it on a map, it looks like a lot of speed and a lot of, just flat out. It's more than that. It gets very technical in Parabolica, where we're going through right now. And you see the Koch running it out just a little bit.
Let's go to second place real quick. Sorry to interrupt. There we go. We have a battle. This is Tkach is going to lose a position. He tried to defend that inside line. Mangan was having none of it. He took the car as far right as he could, and he gets that spot done. That's bad news for Tkach now, who loses a few more points to the guy he needs to catch, Osterkamp.
Yeah, Mangan really having trouble, Soup, with connection right now. That car is blinking quite a bit. That could be very, very difficult with for Tkach to manage, to be honest with you. That's tough to ride behind a car that's blinking that much. Seems to have settled down right now. We'll keep an eye on it. I don't think we're gonna have a choice though, because Mangan's awful fast. I think he's gonna keep himself up here as long as he's got a connection.
And I took you away from the battle that I think we had on screen there to cover the battle for second. Koch has fallen back to 10th position now as Manuel Hoyer works his way around him.
Yeah, look at that. Hoyer gets by, and Hoyer gets an even better run off of the Lesmo there. Out of turn 7 and up the very, very long straight. You know, the problem is for Koch is he's almost a little bit too far back to get any real good draft there. And, that's going to be hard to catch. You can't let these drivers continue to get away like that. Hopefully, Koch will find some pace here in the next couple laps.
The points are different for the feature race and the sprint race. You get about 2/3 points for the sprint race. It's shorter. You don't earn as much. The big payday is here in the feature race, and this is where Koch, if he falls too far back, again, I'm talking big picture, but come on, we've been 11 races into the season right now. We have to talk about what's on the track, but what's also on the overlays as well, and that is Koch is really struggling. If he wants to get this championship, he's got to pick up a few positions.
Yep,
Let's go for a battle for the lead.
Osterkamp being overtaken by Mangan into the chicane. Mangan gets ahead. Got to keep the position. Oscar Mangan up first. Trouble for McLeod. Oh, he just slides it. Gets on the brakes a little too hard there in the chicane, Soup.
That was right in front of Tejas there and Tierney as well. Let's see if he gets out in front. It looks like, is he going to get out in front of Koch? No, I think Koch is going to get, there's one position for Koch. As he picks that up, McLeod's going to slot into 12th. And now let's go back up to the lead again as I'm sorry, no, I was looking at McLeod, sorry.
No, I was just going to say Adam Tierney just blew by Tellez like he was standing still. Tierney apparently finding some pace now in that Formula Renault. He's moving, baby.
Let's keep talking bonus points. Right now, according to my timing and scoring, fastest lap right now, René Osterkamp put in a 1:48.4. 1:48.5 for Magnan, so that's another bonus point as they run right now for René Osterkamp. He already has one for pole. But the good news for Tkach is Magnan now has gotten around Osterkamp, so that put Tkach right in behind him.
Yeah, and Tkach hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, he's not that far back. He's lurking back there. Boy, I spent quite a bit of time practicing with the guys yesterday. Boy, Parabolica, so tough in this car to get it through there at speed, Soup. You've really got to get down through the gears off a long straight and that sweeping right-hander, and it's a bit of a trick.
And there you see Aisio Tejas making that pass for 5th position, getting to the inside of Tierney. Tierney drops back to 6th. Sean, so much of the championship is, look at this, and now I think a slowdown penalty maybe for Tejas as Tierney gets it back. Either that or he just had a bad exit. No, that feels like a slowdown, so let's move Tierney back up into 5th position. Sean, what about the curbing here? First of all, will it upset the car? And second of all, will it damage the car? Not your friend.
And yes, it will damage the car. In fact, right here in Del Ridafilio here, you hit those yellow curbs. You get off the track into those yellow curbs. They will damage the front wing, possibly damage some suspension. I know I clipped those yellows a couple times yesterday and confirmed. In fact, Christian Tkach said, "Hey, Sean, wing's damaged after that, buddy. You can't ride through there too hard. The curbs, not really your friend here, Soup. Only in a couple spots on track, but where they get kind of flat. But you've also got to watch out for the sausage bombs. Also, the sausage curbs there. Those little sausage curbs aren't any fun. They will get this car up and over."
And wing damage is a double whammy because not only does it slow you down possibly on the track, it's going to cost you several seconds to get it repaired in the pits. And with the competition so tight in the AOR Formula 2.0 Championship, you cannot afford to give up 5 or 6 seconds because they have to change a nose cone on your Formula Renault.
Yeah, you can't lose time in the pit here. You cannot lose time in the pit at Monza. Perfect pit stops every time, and pit stops that don't include any damage repair, definitely.
Oh, let's look at Ree Robinson. I think he might have just looped it around and then He knows it. Is this current? Nope, I guess
Boy,
not.
Jean-Francois Godin actually just, I don't know
That's
if
the one.
he's-
Oh, yeah, Godin
Yeah.
is the one. Uh-oh.
Boy, he has big trouble just before he gets to Ascari. Not sure exactly what happened to the car. Got under the bridge and then,
Oh, Mama
Well,
Jean,
I wonder
this is simulated, so he's
you know,
okay.
the car, just before he got to the bridge, the car gets out of the shape. I wonder if
Oh,
did he touch the grass over there to the left? Boy, I'm not sure, but that ended this race for him because he's up on his lid now.
no, I don't think he's coming back from that one.
Yeah, out of the car. Wow.
It's one thing to have a bad incident. It's another thing to have it take you out of the race because you cannot recover. Sometimes if you make a mistake, as long as you can finish on the lead lap, you can take a little bit of the sting out of the wound by having a good sprint race. But that's not going to happen. He's going to have to start his sprint race behind all the cars that are finishing on the lead lap. Looking at the leaders, Mangan still out in front. Osterkamp trying to close in. They're gapping a little bit to catch. Nolden and another newcomer. Oh, that's a lap down. I'm sorry, Trowbridge is a lap down there. Tierney running in fifth.
Yeah, and Trowbridge, being the newcomer, has got to watch out here. He's got a lot of traffic coming through. Already going a lap down. He was involved in that first lap incident there off the start. He's going to have to be careful to let these leaders by. They're catching him in a good spot, though. That's the good news.
Talk about some of the drivers there that have had trouble in that names. Godin had issues, I believe, in that first one. No, we saw what actually there. Dometer, Cortel, Knut Martinson might have caught in that one as well. We mentioned that Mark Usher was not here today. Another big name not here is Gunnar Nienhaus. Nienhaus sitting fourth on the points. This was expected that he would miss today, and unfortunately, I think he is out of pocket points, so I think he's going to be scored as 0. That'll hurt him in the points.
Mark it 0, Donnie. Mark it 0.
A little Big Lebowski reference, if you didn't know that one.
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
Okay, we talked about the drivers up running in 10th. Let's see if we drop back, see if we find something a little bit farther back. Let's go back to 9th position. This is 9th. This is Cowie and Koch in a good battle. Kessler behind him. Ty McLeod running in 12th.
Yeah, Koch's still doing a good job of hanging on to 10th. He let that spot get by him. Cowie now holding it pretty well. Koch's got to be careful. Got to look over his shoulder now because Kessler's starting to close in on him just a bit. And Ty McLeod having another solid run here in the AOR on a Friday evening.
Just to follow up one more time on Koch, not only did he not qualify well, you might say, well, gee, maybe he didn't get in a clean lap and that's what happened. Nope, he was slow in practice as well. He just does not feel comfortable here in Italy.
I'm going to be honest, Soup. I struggled with the car yesterday. This is a track that you want to be fast at because of the high speed, the straightaways, draft, all that. And I found myself continuing to overdrive the car. I could never reel it in. I just continued to overdrive it. Great battle on screen. Kessler getting by, taking a position there. Kessler getting by Cowie. I'm sorry, by Koch. My bad.
Yeah, that's just another points lost there for Koch. It's a championship. You can feel it slipping through his fingers. He'll have one more shot in the sprint race, but you don't want to put yourself too much in the hole.
Okay. Yeah, but do you put yourself in the middle and be ahead of the leaders when you restart the sprint race? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
maybe
certainly.
settle for 10th or 12th points and then attack from a better position in the sprint race. I don't know. Just thinking here.
Plus, remember, the leaders will have to negotiate Rettifilio, and we saw what happened in the feature race we're on right now. Anything could happen. Those guys in the back, so don't tune out yet. In fact, negotiations are underway right now for GSRC to come back and cover Season 6 here, and I'm looking forward to it with guys like Oscar Mangan coming into this and Mark Usher. That really makes it exciting.
Oh, trouble for McLeod. Just too much speed. Heading into Ascari.
Right in front of you.
That left-hander is so tricky. You've got to set it up far to the left, but you got to get slowed down because back to the right, it's such a challenge. And you see what happened there. The car just gets really loose off the turn, through the turn. It really breaks away from him, and he hits that inside tire barrier, busting up that front wing, and that's probably going to mean a pit stop coming up for him right now.
Talking about pit stops, how about one from Christian Koch as he comes in? Going to use the early peel, late reveal strategy. Peel off early. You kind of forget about him. Then what is revealed later is he's back up in front. We'll see how it goes.
And you know what? Maybe this just played right into his hands. This is not a bad strategy. He still has plenty of time to make it the time in the pit. With everybody else having to take one, he could be in good shape.
He's up on the jacks, which is a good indication that he picked up some damage somewhere.
Yep.
Let's look at his, if I can find his time here.
Yeah, it was almost a 12-second stop. I'm thinking there was something. He may have had a wing change there.
Now, the leader of all the cars who have pitted is Phil Reed, but Reed also had a slow stop as he went for 12 seconds as well. In fact, actually, Reed, that's a misnomer. As he came in, that was an early stop, probably picked up damage, so he's been out there for 7 laps. So Ty McLeod, it looks like Ty McLeod maybe, Sean, is the guy we need to think about.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him, but obviously if you've got to pit there at the very beginning, you're still going to have to pit again because you're not going to make it on fuel. So that's going to put you even further behind.
McLeod had a 13, of course, we saw he had problems as well. He had a 13-second stop. He's currently running in 14th position, 29 seconds behind the leaders on the lead lap, and I think he's probably good to go from here.
Daniel Morris just took the position from Manuel Hoyer to move himself up to 7. Gets around Hoyer and coming in, Morris keeps going. Hoyer brings it in the pit just behind him.
And again, we have to talk team championship as well. Morris, again, the Red Devil Racer teamed up with Catch. Right now, those guys are running 3rd and 7th. They're trying to catch the Aperture boys. Nolden up there running in 4th position, but Phil Reed has had that early issue. He's running back in 16th.
Boy, Catch just not able to close any distance between him and Rene Oosterkamp, even though the last time by he had the fastest lap. It was still only about a half-second faster than Rene Oosterkamp. Oosterkamp riding in the draft of our leader, Oscar Mangan.
Oosterkamp's time of 1:48.4 still holding up as the fastest lap. That bonus point could be what it's all about. When it comes down to the championship, every point is going to count. Let's go back. Nice battle here. Oh, this is a lap car. I apologize. 20th position. Andy Cowie getting around Christoph Holstein. There's another top-named driver. Holstein, 1 lap down now, I guess.
Yes, he is, Soup. I believe he was another one of those drivers that got caught up in that mess early.
The question for Holstein is he just took his pit stop, so he's good to go. There's a chance that when the leaders come in, Holstein might be able to get his lap back. It'll be close. Finishing on the lead lap, very important. Let's go to 5th position. Tellius in a great battle with Adam Tierney. Here comes Tierney. Look at the defensive line that Elise Acio takes. My goodness. That's as far as driver's right as you can get. Now they are side by side. They go into Rettifilio, and now Acio is going to back out, give the position to Tierney, up to 5th.
Woo. He broke Acio. He broke a little bit later and almost makes contact with Tierney there, able to avoid it.
Manuel Hoyer, sorry, from 21st. Sean just put it in the wall.
Oh, boy, and that's trouble for him. And, man, again, another driver having trouble in Ascari there. And it was for Hoyer, it was actually on the exit of Ascari coming out where he had the trouble getting off to the right there. The car got loose and across the track, and he hits that barrier really hard.
He was on the lead lap, racing in about 13th or 14th position at the time of the accident. And I think we found it here on the replay.
Yeah, he gets into the Scari okay, and it all goes wrong for him here on the exit. Yeah, it broke on him out.
Oh.
And that's a situation right there. You might be getting back to the accelerator a little bit too quickly. It's so easy to spin the tires out of there because it is a pretty high speed transition suit.
You know, let's talk about the track a little bit. Sometimes we go to these tracks that are natural road courses where they have a lot of runoffs. Here, boy, there are so many walls in proximity that this is an unforgiving place. If you get off, there's a good chance your day is ended. You can just right here, how close the walls are, of course, around the main straight. There's some places you do not want to get loose here.
No, you don't. And I talked about the big yellow curves in the chicane areas of the track. You get off into those sections and you hit those big curves. Again, that's a situation where you can pop the car up in the air, turn her over, or even cause damage to the wing or the suspension. Good battle on screen. Tierney getting passed by Tellez. Tellez coming up through the front straight into one. He's going to take that position from Tierney, move himself up to 5th.
These guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. They're having a blast right now, Soup. They've been battling the whole race.
Andy Cowie is in and out. I think he's going to probably be the leaders of all the cars who have stopped. We'll see if he gets out in front of Koch. I think he's going to be okay. I think Cowie's going to be the leader of cars who have pitted. Yep. Quite a gap between him and Koch would be the next car. Cowie cycles out in 10th position, ahead of Ben Scott, who's in 11th, but Ben still needs to make a stop. Your points leader, Christian Koch, running in 12th, but he's got to stop out of the way. Just a comparison, Cowie stopped 4.9 seconds in the box compared to Koch in there for 12 seconds.
Still watching this battle here on screen between Tierney and Tellez. They're having a spirited one, Soup. It is a bit of fun completing their trip through Ascari and now into Parabolica. I would predict they'll probably go side by side through Parabolica one more time here. There's Tierney making the move to the inside, down the straight.
Tierney, the Quantum driver, gets the car inside of the Privateer, and it looks like he's going to get that spot back. Let's go up to the front as we have a battle up there. Osterkamp trying to see if he can, but look what he has done. He's not going to be able to do it right now as they work down through Rettifilio now. Let's stay on this for a bit. They come along the sweeping right-hander, Curva Grande. Sean, you talked about it in the opening that they're going to take out the new design is going to take out Rettifilio, and they're going to rework Curva Grande, go right to it, so that chicane's going to be gone. I'm going to miss Rettifilio. Not really.
Well, iRacing does give you the opportunity to configure this course without it. I'll take it either way. Rettifilio very, very reminiscent of the Champions Wall chicane at Villeneuve in Montreal. It's almost identical chicane, and both collect their victims. That's why that Wall of Champions is called what it is. It's very, very challenging. It definitely adds that technical factor you want in a track. It's also fun at high speed and trying to manage your trip through Curva Grande, which can be flat out and a lot of fun if you're fighting down to that next chicane in what is turns 4 and 5, De La Rogia.
You just saw them work through kind of a triple chicane there of Ascari there, the left, right, left combination. Then they get down to this great corner, Parabolica, which it's kind of like a carousel, but it has a different angle as you come into it. Look at the run now. I thought it was a great run, and that's maybe because our leader is coming in. So let's go ahead and give the lead to Osterkamp. Let's see if Tkach stays out as well. He does.
Kerry Nolden comes in.
Nolden pits from 4th.
Here comes Tellez.
Yeah, Tierney stays out.
Tierney, yes.
Oh, Tierney comes in. Yeah, I got confused too as Tejas has gotten back in front of those guys.
Patrick Kessler in. Evan Imre in. A lot of cars say this is the lap. I want to be in the pit.
We're looking. I don't think drivers that would be there. Cowie, I don't think Cowie's going to have anything for. In fact, here comes our leader right now. Mangan comes out. Going to cycle out in 5th position. He continues to have blinking problems for me. Looks like he's coming out just ahead of Nolden. Let's look at that time, though, for Mangan. How fast was his stop? 5.2. Oh, that's about 3 or 4 tenths slower than some of the top guys. I've seen stops as fast as 4.8 from Tierney, 4.9 from Cowie, 4.7 from Kessler. You got to think that Osterkamp and Tkach will have this thing wired. We'll see when they come in whether they're able to jump Mangan.
Well, the thing I like is you've got everybody on a different strategy here. Nobody's locked in, it seems like, on any one strategy. So going to be a lot of shuffling here as we've still not completed this pit cycle. I'm seeing there's still half a dozen drivers that need to bring it in.
Top 4 drivers actually still out there. Osterkamp, Tkach, Tejas, and Morris. Those are the big names. Silvio Hurt yet to come in as well. Leader stays out. Tkach does not. So what we'll do, we'll pick up Tkach coming in, and then we'll see if we can see where Mangden is. Mangden will be the guy we expect to get around him. Right now, he's just working into Parabolica. Sean, the stops are so fast here in the Formula One.
Yeah, they really, really are, Soup, and it makes them actually kind of easy to follow because when you know what your baseline is,
right,
which is about a 4.6 to 4.7, you know when somebody's got a little bit of trouble. It makes it a little easier to figure out. You know, you start seeing that 14-second stop, you immediately realize, okay, they had trouble in the pit, and again, it makes it a little bit easier to keep track of.
There goes Mangden. As he goes by, he's going to distance himself from Tkach. Tkach comes out. Now, that's Trowbridge behind. He's a lap down. That one doesn't really count. Tkach gets out in front of Nolden. So far, they file in about the way they were running on the track. Osterkamp, Tejas, and Morris, the 3 that have front runners who have yet to come in.
Yeah, and Tkach and Mangan's pit stop, Soup, were practically identical. That 0.2 of a second that you mentioned, that was the difference in their pit stops, period. 0.2 of a second.
Yeah. Now, when they do come in, it'll be interesting to see how Osterkamp comes out in relationship to Mangan. And then we'll also see how Tejas, remember, Sean, that's the battle we've been watching, Tejas and Tierney. We'll see how those two fare.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think that battle's going to be with us to the very, very end of the race. They've been good competitors together all day. We'll see.
Silvio Hurt pits from the final spot on the lead lap. Not sure if he's going to get out in front of the leaders or not. Osterkamp is in. And with that said, Hurt is rolling. So that gives you an idea. Silvio has a real chance finishing on the lead lap now, as the guy he's trying to stay in front of is in the pits. Osterkamp comes in. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick up Mangden. He's just coming across the start-finish line right now. Osterkamp is rolling. Look at that camera angle. You can see them both coming at you. The yellow car of Osterkamp. Mangden gets around him by about a car length.
Mangan just digging here. Oh, what a great battle. Osterkamp got his hands full today, Sue.
Let's go to Tierney real quick. As sure enough, Tejas has got out in front of Tierney, so that battle continues for 5th. Tejas out in front, Tierney right behind him.
Great job by Tierney, though, to stay on pace and keep himself there in a good fight for Tejas. That battle up front there, nothing is settled for Kerry Nolden. This could be an opportunity to put yourselves in position for a podium spot here, Sue. With the way Oscar Mangan and Renee Osterkamp are fighting up there, there's no telling how this thing's going to end.
Sean, with the pit stops out of the way, let's go ahead and run down. Let's see if we can get through the entire 17 cars on the lead lap. How about 4 at a time? Osterkamp out in front. He's got about a lead by 1.8 seconds. Let me correct myself. Is Mangden out in front? There we go. Osterkamp running in second. Gotta let my timing and scoring catch up a bit. Tkach running in 3rd position. He's got about 3 seconds lead, Sean. back to Kerry Nolden. Who do you see in 5th?
Okay, AC Teles, the Brazilian driver, is currently sitting in 5th. And he is trying to hold off his good friend Adam Tierney, who's been with him for most of this race. Now in 6th, Adam having a great run today. Drop back to 7th, you'll see Daniel Morris, the UKNI driver, the 777, sitting in 7th. Oh, go figure. And then we go to the Milkman in 8th. That's Andy Cowie. Cowie, strong today. That Vector Sports machine is running, baby.
9th position and about 4 seconds up on Coke is Patrick Kessler, racing there for LM Rennsport. And we talked about Coke. He's your point leader, running in 10th. That's where he's been most of the day. He's got about 6 seconds up on Evan Really Tough Emre, running in 11th position on the lead lap, who's got about 5 seconds back to Ty McLeod, Sean, who had issues earlier, but I guess he's got that repaired. Out there running in 12th right now. Who you got behind in the Baker's Dozen spot?
Well, it's going to be Phil Reed sitting there in 13th today. And Phil, he's just kind of hung out in the middle of the field here today. Not much going on yet for that driver, but behind him, Sarah Dove, up 11 spots currently. Sarah coming in the pit now. This is a second stop for her. I'm a little curious as to what might be going on here. This is certainly going to have an effect on her finishing spot, coming in for a second spot. Didn't see any damage on the car. Looks like it may have been possibly a fuel miscalculation. I'm not sure, Soup, but she wasn't in there long. It was only a 4.6.
Wonder if she picked up some damage in the first one and had to make an early stop, was off cycle there. Ben Scott looks like he's running in 14th position now as he picks up that spot over Sarah. Hey, look who's in 15th, Sean.
Yeah, little Stevie Chambers now in 15th. He's at 13 spots. He started 28th today, and now in control of 15th. Got his pit stop behind him. Stevie off to a pretty good run here. And now Sarah Dove, she slipped back to 16th. And that's where we sit through 16.
Then we have, looking for the guys to be on the last laps here, Silvio Hurt in 17th. A little battle here. Silvio Hurt in a battle with Christoph Holstein. I would imagine Holstein's probably going to get that spot. And those guys are pretty comfortable. They're about a minute 42. Actually, they're not all that comfortable. Holstein, a minute 42 behind the leaders. About 6 seconds up on our leader with about just under 8 minutes to race. Probably safe that we're going to see Holstein and Hurt maybe on the row.
I don't know, Soup. It's going to be tough. There's still really about 4.5 laps left, and that gap it's closing. I think Silvio and Christoph Holstein here are in trouble. They're going to keep fighting, and I think our leaders could possibly catch him. Holstein pulling off the move, coming down the straight into Ascari. Holstein with a really nice line through there. Boy, he manages that well. Gets out of Ascari fast.
I think Holstein might be listening to the broadcast and saying, Silvio, I can't afford to be back here with you. I got places to go.
Yeah.
Good luck. And he waves to him.
Well, Holstein down 10 spots, finds himself in 17th. I got to imagine, there's a sense of urgency in the cockpit right now. He knows he needs to get going. He can see in his relative where they're at. It's time to boogie, baby.
Not really missing much up front as it's pretty well separated here. Oh, did I see Lawrence sudden strike to Reich? Is this the incident I'm picking up to just happen?
It did, yeah. Big trouble out of Curva del Istmo. Boy, that car was just never right getting through there. It gets off the track and into the wall really hard.
Lawrence not on the lead lap. He's running in 20th at the time.
Yeah, and that is going to be an ender for his effort here in the feature race.
Update you on the team championship a little bit. Red Devil having a good race with Tkach and Morris running 3rd and 7th right now. And of course, they're trying to run down Aperture. Kerry Nolden running in 4th position for Aperture, but Phil Reed on the lead lap running in 13th. Probably not a big enough gap to have Red Devil close too much up, as I think Aperture feeling pretty comfortable right now. Unless disaster strikes, they're looking at a championship in the team championship standings.
All right, Soup. Our leader, Oscar Mangan, is getting really close to Silvio Hurt. Close that gap down. Getting through Ascari, Parabolica could be the place here. You see Mangan try to make the move. He's going to get there before. Hurt does not have a good exit out of Ascari, and Mangan gets by. He's cruising down into Parabolica.
Rene Oosterkamp had the fastest lap bonus point at a 148.4. Oscar Mangan said, oh, not so fast, as he put in a 148.3, and Oosterkamp then came back and put in a 148.3 flat compared to a 3.8, and give that bonus point back to Oosterkamp again. These bonus points, very, very important with the championship point rate so close.
Boy, Christoph Holstein got to be so careful here. He's got to be careful, and he's got to be fast, because here comes the leader, Oscar Mangan. He would really, really love to find himself in a pole position to start the sprint race, Soup, and it's just a matter of a couple of seconds now that separate those two. Holstein, though, still has really, really good pace. The question is Mangan going to be able to get there with just about 2.5 laps left to go?
In most situations, most broadcasts that we do here on the Global Sim Racing channel, this would be interesting as a guy trying to stay on the lead lap. But here in the AOR, the rules are pretty darn specific. Get out of the way is what the blue flag means here. So I don't expect Christoph Holstein to put up too much of a battle, which is bad news for Oosterkamp if he's hoping for any help to get to Mangan, who's up in front by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, Mangan has really checked out, and it's going to be tough to catch him at this point. But listen, he's human. Anything can happen. Oosterkamp needs to stay on point, keep driving his race. Obviously, Tkach has done everything he can to stay in this championship battle, and you know what? It's at this point, Soup, it looks like it's all coming down to the sprint race.
Well, we've seen it happen before. We saw just last round at Okayama, we saw Mark Usher spin from the lead. It looked like he had it wrapped up. He spun, fell back a few positions, then actually didn't finish. So, yeah, nothing is locked in yet. But it is interesting, though, because this is a big name up here. Holstein certainly has the speed to win from the pole.
Yeah. Oh, and he locked him up. He locked him up going into to the turn there, having trouble at Retafilio. Oh no, he didn't need that. Oh, Mangan really picked up a lot of time there, Soup. This is going to be interesting. Can Holstein hold him off here? I'd say one more mistake and he's cooked.
Looking at a battle here for 8th position. They finally found one, and this is Cowie, who's trying to get around, or actually Cowie in 9th, trying to get around Kessler, running in 8th position. Kessler racing for LM Remsport out there, solo team. The Milkman seeing if he can get this pass made. And I'm hearing another, did Holstein, I think Holstein just went over the curbs. Is he going to get a slowdown penalty?
Oh, and Holstein, out of Ascari.
There it is.
Holstein loses it out of Ascari and decides to just tow. Doesn't even get back in the throttle. Oh, boy. Well, yes. Save the best for last, but he tows and ends any chances of starting with the leaders here in this this next race.
Well, with 1:30 to race, the two-dimensional fans are all standing because they know now it's going to be a very favorite front row here in the sprint race. It looks like it's going to be, how about some fan favorites? Little Stevie Chambers, the Flying V, inside of Sarah Dove. How about that for a front row? That's got to make the fans happy.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and it'll be interesting to see what Sarah Dove can do from the front. Her pace has been a little off in this race, Soup, but maybe Sarah can gather it up here for the sprint race.
16 cars on the lead lap right now. Let me correct myself. It looks like Chambers has been lapped.
Yep. Wow. Sorry, I got to hang on for about half a lap here. Oh, and she gets off wide, coming out of Delesmo.
They call her Little Bird, and she is flying right now, trying to stay out in front of the leader. Who is it coming? Follow up on that Kessler-Cowie battle. It continues. We'll check in on it. Kessler out in front of Cowie right now. Right now, we look at our leader. Now, time is just about running out. Is he on the white flag lap, or is that next time around? We think this is the white flag. This could be good news for Little Bird here as he's working through Parabolica. Looks like Sarah Dove going to be able to get to the start-finish line. We believe the checker is going to flag here, is going to fly. It's the grand finale in the feature. The AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, give it to Oscar Magny. Renee Osterkamp gets second. Christian Tkach is going to get third. Nolden and Tejas come home in fourth and fifth. And while Stevie Chambers is not going to finish on the lead lap, Sarah Dove is. She's going to start on the pole inside of Ben Scott, who's been there before. How did that Tierney and the Kessler-Cowie battle shaped up? It looks like Kessler got the best of it.
Yeah, he did. Kessler going to finish 8th. Cowie going to settle for 9th.
Points leader Christian Koch has to settle for 10th. That's going to take a big hit in the points. Emery McLeod. Aperture's Phil Reed's going to come home in 13th. Team that up with Nolden's 4th. And then we talked about Ben Scott and Sarah Dove.
And confirming here in the chat, Soup, what you suspected, Koch, not a fan of this track, actually.
Yeah. I think we're Captain Obvious there with that one. Okay. Well, the best part of any doubleheader event is the break between the races, and it's the perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitter. So at this point, GSRC is going to step away, but just for a moment, we'll be back to talk to some of the drivers during the break between, run down the final standings, and then, of course, we'll be back to show you the sprint race that follows up later. Back to you. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault Championship, Season 5, the season finale from Monza. So what we're going to do right now, let's go back and see if we can look at that first race schmozzle, the kerfuffle that happened in Renault. We're going to go take a look at it. It happens when I think Coke gets into the back of Holstein, and then all heck breaks loose. Now you see they start to bunch up there. Now the car's out in front. Coke turns Holstein. There you go. And they work all the way through. Then they really start to pile in. Hoyer makes his way through. He's the first guy who has the best view. Look at the other cars taking evasive action. Then they actually get into it, Sean. We're going to ride on board now with Manuel Hoyer. This will give you a good look, I think. Here we go. He'll have the best view of it. He gets through pretty clean.
Yeah, and he just avoids that off to the right and gets through. Several drivers behind him taking the option to go through that runoff there, that cut through in the chicane. Super. Look at the replay here again.
As we can see if we can get on. Here we go. We'll go back to Martinson. Here we go. Now watch everything going on in front of him. Martinson has nowhere to go, and he collects.
Absolutely nowhere to go, Sue.
If there's a way, maybe one more look at it from way up on top will probably give us the best view of it. And it just continues on forever and ever as we see if we can get our... There we go. Now this will give us a good view. You can see the carnage that goes on, not just during the... Oh, we just lost it there. We ran out of time. Our director has it. It's a little hard sometimes for us to go way back. Here we go. Now we're going to show it. This will be our last attempt at it. You can see this. Sean, it's not even while it happens. It just goes on for seconds and seconds afterwards, including the guys who took evasive action. Yeah.
And it just, like you say, parking lot. It's exactly what it was. It turned into a parking lot, and even further behind, it just keeps going and going. And it took forever to sort out. So amazing as many cars finished on the lead lap as they did. It was a major slowdown. Cost a lot of teams, a lot of cars there, at least 20, 30 seconds getting through that mess.
So what does it mean for the final standings? Let's go ahead and run it down for you right now. Your winner, newcomer, Oscar Mangan. Remember, he got the win in last round's sprint race, so he goes back-to-back now. 2 in a row for him. Renee Osterkamp and Christian Ketch go second and third. Osterkamp leads to Ketch by 4 points in the standings. He's going to pick up a little bit more for finishing ahead of him, plus bonus points for pole and fastest lap as well. Kerry Nolden and Aisio Tejas go fourth and fifth. Adam Tierney, Daniel Morris, Patrick Kessler, Andy Cowie, and Christian Koch round out your top 10. Sean?
All right. Then you're going to go back to 11th. That's going to be Evan Imre with an 11th place finish today. Ty McLeod, 12th. Phil Reed, 13th. Ben Scott, 14th. Sardub, 15th. 16th, going to go to Little Stevie Chambers. It's going to be that first car a lap down. He just missed his opportunity to start on the pole. Silvio Hurt, 17th. Alexander Trowbridge, 18th. Christoph Holstein, 19th. And rounding out your top 20, Lawrence DeReich.
Well, it looks like we have nobody here ready for the interview. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I have to finish out where we were. Sorry, I was thinking ahead of myself here. Hidden Blackjack, Manuel Hoyer. We saw him get through the big carnage that happened on the first corner. Alain-Philippe André in 22nd position. Vittorio Saltalamacchia, Mark Forte, and Lee Robinson go 23rd through 25th. Bruno Dometer behind them. Jeroen de Quartel, he was out early, 21 laps down. In fact, all these guys had trouble early. Knut Martinson, Irka Lindstrom, Ashley Howell in 21st position, and the last car out there, Jonas Villman. So, 32 cars took the grid, 32 post times. 15 of them were able to finish on the lead lap. That's about half the field, and of course, we talked about it before. It looks like it's going to be Sarah Dove on the pole inside of Ben Scott. Here's some names you can keep an eye on, though. I'm not sure how long Sarah and Ben are going to be there, because look who's going to be right behind them, Sean. How about Phil Reed and Ty McLeod as a couple names in row 2?
Yeah, that's going to be a good battle. Phil and Ty going to have a little bit of fun out there. I can't wait. This sprint race is going to be very interesting. It really is.
We talked about Christian Koch maybe being able to take some of the sting out of the wound. He's going to be starting outside of row 3. The good news is for our guys that finished in the front, they only have 14 cars to get to. Well, I guess 15 cars to get to get to the lead lap machines or the guys up front. They'll be starting. Oscar Magno starting in 15th position. That's not all that far back, but it will put him in the turmoil for any problems that could happen in that first chicane.
And boy, that first chicane was a real collector, wasn't it, Soup?
Yeah. Still waiting for anyone to come into the interview. I guess that's not going to happen here today. So I guess what we'll do right now is we'll take a little break. We'll set up a shop here, get everything lined up for the sprint race that will be coming on. And as soon as that session launches, we'll be back here on the Global Sim Racing channel to bring you the last round, the last heat of season number 5 as the championship between Oosterkamp and De Ketch still remains up for grabs. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship, the grand finale from Monza. We just had the feature race in the books, and now we move on to the sprint race. Sean, let's talk a little bit about what the details are of what's coming up here.
Soup, let's get that done here. Let's get it out of the way. This is the 25-minute sprint race. You've got 100% fuel to work with, so you find the number. Is it 5.9 gallons? Is it 6.6? Not sure. These drivers know. They've practiced it. The grid going to be in first from the feature race. Now, the lap down cars will be grid behind everybody that finished on the lead lap. But what does that mean? Well, that means Sarah Dove going to start on the pole today. I believe that for the 4th time she's managed to pull that off. The incident cap is going to be 13. Now that's getting tires off the race circuit, loss of control of the vehicle, contact with someone else. Rack up 13 of those points and you will be disqualified from this sprint race. Bye-bye points, bye-bye good finish. Now the points a little bit less here for the sprint race than they are in the feature. But you know what? A champion is going to be crowned when we get done, Sue.
And let's go ahead and talk about the championship a little bit. What I want to do is bring up the Apex Online Racing scoring system, okay? This will give you an idea of what's going on here. Let's take it a step at a time. We're going to talk about the difference between Oosterkamp and To Catch. Oosterkamp led To Catch by 4 points coming into this race. He picks up now. You see the points there in yellow for second and third, 28 to 25. So now Oosterkamp picks up 3 more points on To Catch. That gives them the 7-point lead. Plus Oosterkamp gets a bonus point for pole and bonus point for fastest lap. Now I can't tell you if either one were clean. There are also bonus points for clean laps. I can't get into it that much, so there might be a little bit off here. Anyway, around it's going to be about 9 points. We can't take into account the clean laps. A 9-point advantage for Oosterkamp. So all he really needs to do right now is bring it home anywhere close to Catch. He should be in pretty good shape. What about Koch? Well, he only scored 11 points for his 10th place finish. Not sure if there's enough points left in the sprint race for him to make up the distance on Oosterkamp unless Oosterkamp has some serious issues. So there you have it. I think it's Renault Oosterkamp's championship to lose, Sean.
It is, but Renault Oosterkamp's got to get through a deep field of drivers to secure that championship. Got to get Soup. What did we see happen in the feature race? Turn 1. Variante del Retafilio is a problem. I'm
telling you, Renee, just blow the chicane, take the slowdown penalty. That's what, if I'm on the box, my goodness, the last thing, you don't want your season to be lost in that. The bad news is, Sean, he's going to be right in the middle of the field, right where it happened last time.
Yeah, and actually, the very best he could hope for was to line up on the outside and blow the chicane and go through the cut through there. I mean, I think it's like about a 1.5 second slowdown, and you almost wonder if the 1.5 slowdown is better than possibly having your race ended in that chicane. Got to be on your toes getting through there for sure. Really, a sense of awareness of everything that's going on around you. So very, very important on that opening lap.
You talked about this track being around so long, and certainly it's it's the 3rd oldest purpose-built racetrack in the world. You talked about it. But the chicanes have not always been there. Those have been put in as a safety concern to slow drivers down a bit. But my gosh,
listen, a good thing that safety took priority over what this track once used to be. Unfortunately, a lot of great drivers lost their lives on this circuit, and the Monza combined, when you combine the oval and this circuit, which we've seen here on the Global Sim Racing Channel before, it takes a special kind of stupid to drive that. It's very, very tricky, very scary, very, very fast.
Let's go ahead and run down your starting order for you. Sarah Dove and Ben Scott make up the first row. Keep an eye on these guys, though. Phil Reed and Ty McLeod to work their way up to the lead really quickly. Evan, Really Tough Emre, and Christian Koch make up the third row. There's some good drivers there as well. The Milkman, Andy Cowie and Patrick Kessler, 7th and 8th. 9th and 10th, Daniel Morris and Adam Tierney. Sean?
Okay. Sixth row is going to be Ezio Tellez and Kerry Nolden. And then you go back to row 7, it's going to be Christian Tkach and Rene Osterkamp right next to each other, right where they want to be. Oscar Mannion, Stevie Chambers. Going to be row 8, Silvio Hurt, Alexander Trowbridge, row 9. Row 10, Christoph Holstein and Lawrence de Rijk.
Got to be a record for most syllables in one row for row 11. Alain Philippe André, Victorio Saltalamacchia, Mark Forte, Lee Robinson, Jean-Francois Godin, Jerome Quartel. See if I can get through them. Oh, I don't get the GSRC bonus for making it all the way through. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And Little Bird, Sarah Doves, leads them into the chicane first. Making a move on the outside. That is going to be Phil Reed. Reed going to try to get the lead. A little bumping and banging going on behind. Now here comes the herd through the chicane. It's pretty much some of the drivers are actually stopping, but they have managed. There's some bumping and banging. A few guys get around. I don't think it caught up on any of the big names. It was back a little farther back. Nope, the big guys have got through. Oscar Mangan's still racing. Tkach is still out there. Osterkamp has got around Tkach. Osterkamp is up to 12th already, leaving Tkach behind. Nolden and Morris go side by side as they work through Ruggia. Now they're going through the back half there as they continue through 6 and 7.
Wow, and amazing. Everybody got through that soup. Their line astern in the back of the field. Everybody making their way down into the Ascari.
Heard a little moan from Sarah Dove as she's fallen back to 7th position. Usually a second. I'm sorry, I said 7th by mistake. 2nd position. She's now being challenged by McLeod. Koch, Scott, Cowie. Big battle. You can see them nice and organized up front, but then the pinata full of bees behind them as they weave back and forth, heading down into Parabolica. Side by side, making a move on the outside. That was Nolden going around Kessler.
Osterkamp off to a good start. Soup, he already up to 11th, picked up 3 spots. Coming up the front straight, looking to get more. Pulls the slingshot out on Daniel Morris.
It's 3 wide up in front. This is Scott going to the inside. Stuck in the middle is Imre. On the outside is the yellow car of, that's Imre on the outside. In the middle is Kessler, and they make contact. You can't go 3 wide into that chicane.
Makes contact with Ben Scott. Ben Scott manages to get through, though, and boy, it looks like Imre is slow. I wonder if he maybe picked up some damage or got a slowdown penalty for cutting that there. He was definitely T-boned, and seeing a little bit of damage on the car. Not as much as I would expect, though. Could be waiting for iRacing to catch up to that. Alain Philippe André trying to get by on Imre on the outside through the chicane here. Going to get back to the inside. Imre with a good run off. André in trouble there, getting out off the exit of the chicane.
Look at that. Look at that medal there for 14th. That's about 3 or 4 spots behind Osterkamp. More problems. Cowie gets loose.
Yeah, and you said it, Soup just gets loose and then overcorrects, and off into the tire barrier he goes, which results in a tow.
He was racing in 7th position. That was a little bit of a cushion between Koch and Osterkamp. That's one more car out of the way as Koch trying to pick up every possible point he can. In fact, let's look at Koch right now as he makes a move on the inside. That's Dove, Sarah Dove. As Dove falls back into 4th position now. Move Koch up to 3rd. The points leader coming into this race has fallen back after the horrible result he had in the feature event. Phil Reed, Aperture Racing, out in front. You can see that's the car way in the very front. Koch taking an defensive line on Sarah Dove. Sarah's not going to have any of that. She's going to happy in 4th. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, it's to Adam Tierney with a really tough break. He's having to come in the pit. Serious front wing damage on the car. He was running really, really well, and now is going to be out of any contention for this race. Tierney battled so well in the feature. No luck here in the sprint.
Osterkamp, de Rijk has had an issue. Osterkamp made a daring move. De Rijk got in it. This is in the chicane.
Yeah, Towbridge made contact. Towbridge now off track. Oh, Soup. Big trouble
Yeah.
there. You see it here on the replay.
That was Oscar Mangan who got into him.
Yep. And then Tobridge, just after this, in front of it, Tobridge gets back off the track, makes contact with another driver.
What happens, Trowbridge got loose, he got into DeRike, then came back on, and then he got into it with Oscar Mangan, who was trying to make his way through the field. Trowbridge continues to race, though, running in 19th position. Victorio Saltalamacchia just getting around him on the outside.
Christian Tkach just picked up another spot, Soup. He is up to 11th. He's blazing the trail, buddy. He
Doing his best to hang on to the back of Osterkamp, who I thought would take it easy, but he's taking no prisoners. Osterkamp up to 9th and is making some daring passes. The good news for him now, he's starting to race with some, I got to phrase this correctly, a little more, somebody not as talent challenged. How about that? These guys here, Tejas, Morris, Kessler, these are all some pretty drivers that you can trust.
Yeah, Morris having a solid drive now up here in 7th. But, boy, here comes Tejas. Tejas going to look to take this spot away. He gets position on him. He's going to get through the chicane first.
Tejas, another driver who came late to the season, this season 5. Look for him to make a full run next time.
Osterkamp trying to get by Imre. Imre not let him have it. Imre fighting hard.
And here comes, look at this, here comes the catch on the outside. He's going to get them both. One, is he going to get the other one? And he's going to try for a twofer. He's not giving up. It's a twofer.
Oh, boy, what a run off the exit of Ascari. of De La Rogia there for Tkach. Wow. Great move by Tkach. He caught them all sleeping there a little bit, it seemed like.
And the battle, they continue to race side by side. It's Osterkamp. Look at this battle here with Andre now. We right on board with Emery, looking ahead at it. Emery tries to tuck in, get in there, right there. This is, so Osterkamp falls back to 11th to catch up to 9th.
And they're going to make it. They're going to make it tough for Osterkamp. Nobody's giving him anything right now, Sue.
Fast lap bonus right now going to Christian Koch. Remember, he started the day as the point leader. Every point's going to matter, and right now he's racing in 3rd position. He tries to make up the deficit that he gave to himself after a horrible sprint race result, or feature race result. Meanwhile, up in front, Reed has been ran down by McLeod. Reed had a huge lead. He has now fallen way back, and here comes McLeod.
Yep.
He's got a good run on him.
Yeah, here comes McLeod now. He's got that run going.
New leader. Ty McLeod for Infinity Racing takes over the front spot. Put the Aperture driver Phil Reed back to 2nd.
Ty, there can only be one McLeod, baby. Love it. Up to the front.
Kerry.
Ooh, he pushed it
Yeah,
out
look,
off into the dirt.
Look at this. Reed coming back. Reed wants it. As they go into Ascari, they get it sorted out. Now, I'm not sure. Reed had a pretty big lead. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what he got back there. He might have picked up a slowdown penalty. I think now that he's got his wits about him, caught his breath, he's going to see if he can distance himself from Ty again. All that horseplay has allowed Christian Koch to get right into the mix now, under a second back of 2nd position. Nolden has made his way around Sarah Dove. Maybe we can go back and look at Sarah real quick. We're right on board with our leader right now, looking back at McLeod. Sarah about to be gobbled up by Patrick Kessler. Let's see what type of racing line Sarah takes. She's not going to play defensive. She's going to leave it open if you want it. Kessler dives in there. That's some pretty good sportsmanship. Sarah knows that she's off pace a little bit. She's just trying to get the best finish she can. Not going to race too hard. Kessler gets up to 5th. Dove back to 6th. That's probably the best thing that can happen is she'll save time. She's got about 2.3 seconds back to AC Italia. So the less she battles with those guys, Sean, the better chance she has of having a good result.
Yeah, you know what? Sarah's had a great race. Obviously, she had a little bit of trouble there on the start, but she's recovered really well. It's been solid. You saw there, she lets Kessler get by without any issue. Yeah, the car is just fast enough that I think she, as long as she continues to keep her focus here, I think she's really got a chance at a top 5, certainly within the top 10. It's going to be a good day.
Hey, if you're scoring at home or even if you're watching alone, get out your calculators because Renault Oosterkamp has now fallen back to 13th position. Between him and to catch, Holstein, Emre, Andre, 3 drivers separating him and the man who's chasing him. We had the interval of around 9 points. And again, we could not take into account, we don't know who raced clean in the feature race. There are bonus points if you can have a 0 incident race. We cannot give you that information. This may be a cliffhanger like they do here on American TV. We won't be able to give you the championship. You'll have to tune in for season 6 to find out who the champion is here. We'll do our best to give you at least the unofficial champion here. Let's go up to a battle of the lead. I thought Reed was going to pull away. Oh, no. Ty McLeod gets him back.
Not for long. Boy, all the while, this is giving a great opportunity to Christian Koch to keep it close. So those two fighting so hard. Koch, Koch could just go off and win this thing. All he's doing right now is waiting for these two to make a mistake with each other, and this is Koch's race.
As they go side by side now through the chicane, let's give the position back to Reed. McLeod, here comes Koch now. What was once a party of 2, as they say in France, has turned into a partie du trois now as we bring in Ty McLeod. Didn't know I had that in you. Had that in me, did you, Sean?
I did not, Soup. I did not know that was in your repertoire, sir.
Top 3, we ride on board with Koch. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know I've talked about it a lot, but Koch came in as the point leader. He has lost his fast lap bonus now. That goes to Nolden.
He can get it back.
That's right. Sean, let's talk about fast lap and maybe the draft. Is this a place where you can get sucked in a little bit?
Yeah, it is.
Right now, coming down, does the draft play a factor here down the main straight?
It does, but you've really got to be close, Soup. You got to be within about 4/10 of a second for it to be a factor. Now, the closing rate once you get close is not bad. It'll allow you to get around and do a slingshot on somebody, but
maybe 2 cars punch a bigger hole than 1 car. Here we go. This has got to be 3 wide. Now they get it sorted out, and here comes Koch on the outside. It's a twofer for Koch. As he gets 1, he gets 2. He's got the preferred position through Rettifilio, and now it's a horse race. Now it's about getting the throttle down, getting the power down, fighting back out in front. It's Koch's going to have to drop back into second. I really thought he was going to get McLeod. Now it's so close. Merkin to the inside. Here comes Reed. Going to the outside is Koch again. They're going to try 3 wide one more time. Stuck in the middle. That was McLeod, but they get it sorted out as they go through Della Rogia.
Boy, great battle up front. Feathers getting ruffled, though, in a battle back for 12th place. So it was Alain Philippe Andre having a little bit of contact with Christoph Holstein in the first chicane there in Variante del Rettifilio.
And something is wrong with Renault Oosterkamp. He has fallen another position. Something is rotten in Denmark, to quote Shakespeare. And Renault Oosterkamp is in trouble, and the gap continues to grow between him and to catch 1, 2, 3, 4 cars now.
He's got a little bit of wing damage, Soup, and I'm wondering if maybe he'd hit one of those curbs a little too hard, but the car is definitely off pace now.
Up in front, it continues. The dance continues. Coke out in front as he has the lead. Now making a move on the outside. That is Reed. McLeod is in there, and what's a three-car battle? It's now a quartet. Now McLeod making a move on the inside.
Here comes Kerry Nolden.
Nolden as they fly in diamond formation through Rettifilio. Out in front, it is Reed. McLeod in second. Nolden in the blue car now in third. Coke, who once had a taste of the lead, is dry-mouthed as he raced back in fourth position. Now he gets to the inside of Nolden. He's in third. He tries to make a run on Coke. He says, Soup, don't count me out yet, but there's no room there.
Ty McLeod back here fighting for every inch of real estate he can get. Christian Coke keeping it close, and Kerry Nolan, as we mentioned a moment ago, he's come to the party. Don't look now. Here comes Patrick Kessler making his way into the party, Sue.
And this battle continues as it settles down a little bit as it's Reed out in front in first, second place to McLeod, Nolden, and Coke running third and fourth. It was a two-car battle. It was a three-car battle. It was a four-car battle. Welcome to the party, Patrick Kessler, now, as it is a five-car race.
And Christian Coke was leading this race just a moment ago, Soup, and look how far back he's fallen here. The leaders now, Phil Reed and Ty McLeod, they're starting to get away.
All this going on while your points leader is dropping. He's in 14th position. Now, the question is, how much room can Catch get between him and the man he's chasing? Let's look real quickly, go to 8th position. This is a spot between teammates. Daniel Morris racing in 8th. Christian Catch racing in 9th. These are Red Devilers. Daniel, you got to give that spot up to your partner when he gets there. Every point is going to be valuable. Another driver that he could get is Sarah Dove. Just under 8 minutes of racing left.
Boy, Soup, and the battling up front continues. The changing in positions continues. Ty McLeod and Phil Reed have just swapped spots 3 different times in less than half the track. Phil Reed back to the front. Ty McLeod following. Kerry Nolan still hanging on to that third spot. Christian Coke again, maybe waiting here with about 4.5 laps. Maybe Coke waiting just a little bit to make. Oh, Coke having trouble off the turn. And it looks like I was in my replay right there. Sorry about that. Missed that a little bit. But Coke, what I did miss is that Coke is off pace. And he's starting to lose the front 3 here. And
yep.
Tell you what, he's running out of time to attack. Only about 4 laps to go when they come across the line, I think.
That ground can be made up quickly, though, if Reed, McLeod, and Nolden start to mix it up again. Coke running in fourth. Needs every point possible now with Osterkamp having such a bad result. It might be a battle if there's enough for Catch to get to Nolden. Honestly, the math is too confusing right now for me to guess. I think it's going to be very, very close when they start adding everything up. The top 6 cars, Reed, McLeod, Nolden, Coke, Kessler, Tejas, all within striking distance of each other. You see him right there. But that's not the end of the story. You see coming around, look at the very back there. That was Dove and Morris and Catch. Those points are equally as valuable.
Boy, Nolden with a big, bold move into that first chicane. Now Nolden is your leader.
Now he has the lead. The Aperture driver. Hey, how about this? Aperture driver. We talked about them. How about 1-2 right now for Aperture Racing? Well, I spoke too soon because Reed's about to give that spot up to Ty McLeod. Now Reed fends off, taking that defensive line in through De La Rogia. Now they head up into the Lesmos. They work their way through the first one. They work their way through the second one. Nolden, once he's got away from these guys, trying to lay tracks. He's opened it up quite a bit. Reed in second now. McLeod Coke.
Now, Nolan, that last time by, Soup, not only was it his fastest lap of the race, well, it was the fastest lap of the race, period. It was his fastest lap all day. So Nolan really digging right now when it really counts.
To catch is now... Uh-oh. I have to catch back in... No, he's laboring in 9th position. That is correct. Osterkamp safely in 4th. He's got about 2 seconds up to Godin, who's a-coming. Every point is going to be important. I don't think it pays much more. I don't have the graphic in front of me, but I don't think the sprint race pays much more past 14th or 15th. I take a quick look at it. It pays down to 16th position. Right now, Coke running in 14th, looking to pick up 3 points. To catch, looking to get 8. 5-point difference might not be enough. To catch really needs to pick up a few more spots.
Soup, Dove just getting passed by Daniel Morris. That's going to put Morris up to 7th, drop Sara to 8th. Christian to catch right there in that battle also.
Those are the spots he needs. He's got to get Dove, and then he's got to get his teammate.
Yeah.
Morris.
Yeah.
Looking at this 3 wide on screen right now. They get it sorted out. McLeod racing in 3rd. Sara, you saw this, I think, there.
Yeah, trouble for Sara Dove and Della Rosia. He's just maybe a little bit hard under braking here. He usually hit those brakes at about the 100 mark, just under the bridge, and maybe in a little bit too fast, and then loses the rear on it. It comes around, a little bit of contact with the barrier. Tough break for Sara Dove, who was running really, really well. It's still hanging on a 10th place, but Alain Philippe Andre going to make it very, very tough on Sara here, and going to try and put the move on her now.
But what is important in the big picture, she comes out in front of Osterkamp. Osterkamp not able to vulture that spot. Osterkamp remains in 14th and now only a half second up on Godin, who's coming. Look at the battle on screen right now up in front. Action, 2 Furies to cover. From 2 commentators, 1 director, and 1 broadcasting company. Look at the battle for 2nd position right now. That's Coke out in front. Making a move on the outside is Reed. Then they back on the inside. That is Tellius on the inside. Going on the outside is McLeod. Now McLeod comes down. Ducking in deep is Kessler. Kessler has to put it on the binders. He gets out of it. They work through Relafilio. It's Coke out in front. Reed in 2nd. Tellius in 3rd. McLeod and Kessler.
Soup, they're racing like it's the last race of the season.
You get the idea that they're hoping that the race stewards will forget anything that happens?
Wow. Another great finish coming your way here on GSRC. Do not step away from your television, computer, or mobile device if you're watching now.
All of this happening behind Kerry Nolan, who has stepped away. He's got a 3-second lead.
Yeah, how about that? Nolan gets that, with a bold move, down into Renault, takes the lead, and never looks back. He is gone.
Christian to catch has made the pass around his Red Devil teammate Daniel Morris. He is up to 7th position. Osterkamp has fallen back to 15th position as the French-Canadian Jean-Francois Godin has got around him. Phil Reed has had an issue.
Oh,
we're looking at
big
it right
trouble
there.
for Reed. Yep. Boy, and again, another driver getting bit out of Ascari there.
Now that incident has bad news as we look at it. He's out of the race.
Oof.
That's bad news for Coke. That was a driver between him and Takech.
Hate to see that for Phil.
Well, you can only smoke on the Hindenburg so long before something's going to happen, and that's what those guys were doing up front. It was, my mom would say, it's all fun until somebody ends in tears.
Smoking on the Hindenburg soup, really?
Too soon?
Too soon. Hashtag too soon.
16 points is what, or 2 points is what Osterkamp is going to get for 15th position right now. 10 points to catch in 7th position. That's a difference of 8. We figured the gap was about 9 coming into this. It could all come down to who raced clean to be the champion, and we cannot tell you that. We'll see if we can get it during the break. Right now, Nolden out in front. Koch also still in the hunt, finishing in 2nd. He's looking at a nice score of 17.
Ty McLeod trying to secure this podium finish here, Soup. Running out of time, running out of laps. Here we go. Oh no, did Osterkamp have trouble? He come on the radio, didn't sound very happy.
Osterkamp is gone. He may have incidented himself out, which means, well, we know he's not going to get any points then.
Oh boy. Could that be about the worst case? Oh boy, big trouble for Sarah Dove. Coming out of... Yeah, she went for a slide. She managed to stay. Call a finish, Sue.
Working his way. As we see it there. There you have your leader. It is Kerry Nolan, the winner of the sprint race. It's the season finale. A chance, possible championship for Christian Koch, who coming home in 2nd. Did he score enough? McLeod, Tejas, Kessler are going to go 3rd, 4th, and 5th to catch all the way up to 6th position. As another driver who has disappeared out of there, who was racing in that one, is gone. So another vultured spot for to catch.
Soup, looking at my data here, it appears that Osterkamp may have been close on incident, so we don't know. Yeah, let's go to the replay here real quick. We're looking at it now.
Here we go. We're going to look at a replay, and this is you're actually going to see a driver probably have an incident and then go to the light Carol Ann here. Here we go. Was it right there, maybe? Did he cut the corner? Oh, it was right there.
That's
right
it.
there it is. And then bink!
Oh!
Out there with Rod Serling, and now we're going to look at a replay with Little Bird here. Sorry,
Yeah, and I didn't mean to scare everybody. Now, Sarah was able to continue through this, but watch how much work she had to do to save it. Yeah, she hit that sausage. Yeah, she hit that sausage curb. It threw the car up in the air and does a great job of saving it to hang on to position for her.
Okay, the drivers are all talking over the points. We'll do our best to do a little math for you as well. What we're going to do right now, take a short break. We'll be back to run down the finishing order, talk to the drivers, see if we can give you an unofficial champion, and then close up shop for the season. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. The grand finale, round number 12 from Monza. We have got the feature and the sprint race in the books. Before we give you who we think is the champion, let's go ahead and run down the entire finishing order. Your winner for the sprint race, Kerry Nolden, Christian Koch, who came in as the point leader, finishing in second. Ty McLeod, Aisio Tellez, and Patrick Kessler round out your top five. Christian Tkech, who started third for the day in the points, finishing in sixth. Daniel Morris, Oscar Mangan had some issues. He's going to go eighth position. Alain Felipe Andre in ninth. And rounding out your top 10, Evan, really tough Emre. Sean?
Go back to 11th. It's going to be Sarah Dove. Good run for Sarah. Christoph Holstein going to finish 12th. John Francois Godin, 13th. 14th, Urka Lindstrom. 15th going to be Little Stevie Chambers. And 16th, Jonas Willman. 17th, Ben Scott. Silvio Hurt, 18th. Adam Tierney, 19th. That race didn't work out for Adam like he wanted to. 20th going to go to Jeroen de Cortel.
Hitting 21st is Lawrence Sudden Strike to right. Alexander Trowbridge in 22nd position. 23rd, 24th, and 25th go to Mark Forte. Rene Osterkamp, who DQ'd, he did have 18 pocket points, so the worst score he's going to get is 18, which meant that Tkach would have to outscore him, give him 18 plus 2 more bonus points we know he picked up in the feature race. That would give him 20. Tkach would have to outscore him by 4, get to 24. We think that maybe Christian Tkach did that much. Lee Robinson, 25th position. Phil Reed, Vittorio Saltalamacchia in 27th. 28th goes to the Milkman, Andy Cowie, and the Orange Viking, Kmart himself, Knut Martinson, in 29th. Okay, there you have it. Let's go ahead and talk to one of the drivers who is involved in this championship hunt. Now, we're going to bring it in. It's Christian. But it's not Christian Koch. It is Christian Tkach.
No, it's Christian.
Oh, it's Christian Koch. Christian it is.
Koch.
Okay, it is Christian Koch. All right.
Our second place finisher, Christian Koch.
Christian, my math has me that you didn't win the championship. I gave it to the other Christian. Is that what you're hearing, or do you know different news than that?
I think that's correct. I think Christian Tkach has won by, I think, 2 points, they say.
Yeah, it was really close. Well, let's talk about your day. I want to talk about what is going on. You must not like this track. Practice was slow, qualifying was slow, and in the race, you could never seem to get it going. You just don't like Monza?
Yeah, well, I had a front wing damage in the first corner, and I messed up qualifying, and I don't like the track. Yes, that's correct.
Kind of a triple play. Sean, you have anything for Christian?
Okay, you don't like the track. Everybody has a reason. Why don't you like the track?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have really a reason for that. Just not. In a way, I really don't like those slipstream battles. I think in looking in quite fun, but it's no, that's not my game.
Kind of like a girl asking you, "Why don't you like me?" What? There's something about you. Hey, you didn't run a full. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations to Christian, who was really on top for whole of the whole season long, and he really deserved the championship, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, what happens when here on GSRC and we start to grow a fan base and we start to really enjoy the drivers. This is our second season with GSRC. You didn't race a full season last time. Can we expect, do you think, if we're lucky enough to come back and do this one more time, do you plan to race with us again coming up for the next 12?
I have planned to do the whole season, but it's summertime and it's Friday evening, so that might get a little bit difficult to do all let's say 10 races. Even that is quite optimistic.
Before we let you go, tell us a little bit about yourself. What nation do you race in? Where are you, and how old are you, and what do you do? What's your quick synopsis about yourself?
Yeah, okay. I'm from Austria. I live in Graz. That's in Styria, quite next to the place where Arnold Schwarzenegger is coming from.
There you go.
Then I'm 37 years old and racing since, I don't know, 1990 with Geoff Gramon's Grand Prix. Yeah.
Well, we wish you all the best. Have a good summer. We hope to see you back as much as we can, and congratulations on a good season.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Christian Koch, your second place finisher here today. My wife and I spent some time in Austria with it was wonderful. We did some Strasbourg, some Innsbruck. It was very, very entertaining. We had a good time there. Good food.
Soup, he literally sounded like he was from Schwarzenegger's neighborhood. I mean, at the moment he started talking, I'm like, yeah, I recognize that accent.
My wife was slapping me the whole vacation because all I was doing was singing Sound of Music songs the whole time I was there.
Edelweiss, one of my favorites.
There you go. Let's go ahead and see if we can talk to, I guess we'll bring in Kerry Nolden. Let's talk to him. He's our sprint race winner. Go ahead, Sean.
Kerry Nolden, the winner of this race. Kerry, this was a crazy race. You made one whale of a move down in the first chicane in Del Retafilio there, and you made it stick there at the end and never looked back.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a really, really good race. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting an overtake to happen there. I was so focused on just trying to outbrake Ty. Luckily, Phil saw me coming, so we're always communicating. So he saw me coming, left me the space. He's kind of been struggling this week, so I don't think he was too hard done by with that. And then he gave me a buffer straight away because he decided to go side by side with Ty. So I thought it would be a harder fight at the end. But yeah, once I just got the buffer, I was just able to just get my head down and just get on with it, really. So yeah, really good end to the season.
Well, Kerry, what a way to finish the season on a winning note, and gives you momentum heading into season 6. Looking forward to the next season. Yeah,
I've ended it in the best possible way. So yeah, that's always good. It's good to know that I don't necessarily have the single lap pace that these guys are able to pull out at any given moment. But yeah, we just need to finish races more consistently next season, because I always tend to race well against anyone. So yeah, I just got to cut these DNFs out, which kind of blighted my season a little bit. I would have liked to have fought the 3 guys for the championship today, but we kind of fell short last week of being in a good position today. But yeah, we know what to improve for next season, and yeah, it's just nice to end on a good win as well, because it was a really hard fought race today.
It really was, and listen, you brought us great entertainment. We can't thank you enough. Look forward to hopefully seeing you again next season.
Yeah, and I just want to say to you guys as well, thanks very much for the coverage. I hope there's a lot of people who would like you to stay, so let's hope that remains the case next season.
All right, buddy. That was Kerry Nolden, your big winner today. Soup, I'm going to let you talk to the champ, or who we suspect is the champ.
I think we've never met before, so Christian, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, it's Soup and Crackers here with you. We've done the math. We think you are the champion. Congratulations and welcome to the interview booth.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead now. The first race, let's talk about it because we have a lot to go over here. The first race, you really didn't have anything for the guys in front of you. I guess you had to be satisfied just finishing third, a few points behind Osterkamp.
Yeah, I guess so. He got the draft of Oscar quite early, and they managed to pull away a bit, and I wasn't really closing in, so it was just about keeping Kerry behind and keeping it clean. Yeah.
Okay, now let's go to the sprint race. You start ahead of Osterkamp, but he gets around you. Did you know, had you done, at least you had a feeling that he was a little bit ahead of you in the points at this time, and he was out in front of you? You must have not been feeling too good early on.
Yeah, I was kind of doing the math while I was driving. I think I got a bit frustrated at some point. But just need to calm down and just drive my race, do the best, I guess. Hope for not hope for an accident on René's part, but
trouble. Yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you this: you get around him, you see that he's struggling, and now you got to think it's close. And all of a sudden, one of the guys in front of you that's keeping points from you is your Red Devil teammate, Daniel Morris. Do you think I wasn't able to see. We didn't see the pass on screen. Did he let you by, or did he make you earn that one?
I didn't think he let me by because I think it took me about 5 laps or so to close down 1 second because I had front wing damage. So I think I got him in the fair way, I guess you could say.
There you go. Well, we're going to call you the champion unless it changes. Now, let me ask you this. Since it's your first time in there, tell us a little bit about yourself. What country do you hail from? How old are you? Are you married or single? And what do you do?
I'm from Norway. 27, single. If anyone's looking. So
okay. Well, you are the AOR champion now. So when you go into a bar, just say, "Hey, I won the AOR championship." That'll probably turn some.
I will do that.
And what do you do?
I work as an electrician, and I work at the hospital normally. So there's a lot of different things.
Well, I imagine in wintertime it's probably a little easier to race in the AOR than it is in the summertime. You're going to be able to race the next 12, or are you going to take off a little time?
I will be racing the next 12. I've been having a little bit trouble with the knee, so I'll see how that goes. But most likely I will race the next season. So.
Well, for Sean and I and everybody at the Global Sim Racing channel, we had a wonderful time watching it. Congratulations on the win. Well-deserved championship. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Christian Tkach, racing out of Norway, your Season 5 champion in the AOR Formula Renault Championship.
Well, Soup, let's talk to Evan Imre just real quick here as we wrap things up. Evan, boy, what a great series. What a great race today. Monza, who knew this was going to turn into such an exciting race here at the end?
Oh yeah, it was really exciting from I had other sources telling me what was happening. So it was really exciting, and congratulations to Christian Tkach for winning the championship anyway. Really pleased for him. Apparently René binned it on the last lap or got disqualified, I'm not sure, but really exciting end to the championship. Just shows how exciting a championship can be, just like last year when it was 1 point gap between Uni and Quaco. So a great championship.
It literally came down to the very last lap, and René got a couple of tires off in the dirt, and he disqualifies from the session.
Running 15th at the time. That's good for 2 points, and he ends up with none. That could bend the championship right there.
Right. So if he had finished in that place, he would have got 2 points, and he would have been tied with Christian. Would he have not?
We believe so. Yeah, that's unofficially.
And then who wins the championship? It's
arm wrestling, I think. Yeah, no, it's
arm wrestling.
Yeah,
that is in the rules.
I thought it was a caber toss. No,
in Scotland it is. In the Highlands, yeah. But Christian won one race last week or something. So it would have been whoever had the most wins would have won the championship. But anyway, Christian's won it, so well done to him.
Well, Evan, again, we've had so much fun covering this series this season. It's been a real blast, man. And let me tell you, we cover a lot of racing here at GSRC. I've been covering races for almost 4 years now. What a great group of drivers, man. Up and down the field, really, really solid racing, week in, week out.
Yeah. We've passed 10 seasons. There's been 10 seasons of races now, Pro Mazda in the Formula Renault, and we've established real loyal group of drivers that know how to race each other, and we welcome all new drivers. By the way, we've got next season will just be exciting as I hope. Just unbelievable series really. Before we had the 2 races, feature and the sprint, we had a one race night, 45-minute race, or no, it was 1 hour race. So it really has spiced things up, the feature and the sprint race.
Hey, and real quick before we let you go, Evan, I want to thank you for letting me come into your practice sessions and totally just mess things up for everybody out there.
Oh no, it's great. You're welcome. Yeah, it's great that you come in and kind of analyse the track in that car, and it builds your knowledge for tonight's broadcast. So it's great that you do that because you don't see that a lot.
Well, as long as you don't mind having the moving chicane Sean Ambrose out there, I'll keep coming in and having a little fun with you guys.
As long as you stay out of my way, so I can practice, right? But just a quick word on my night. I had a rubbish last 2 weeks, Brands Hatch and wherever we were last week. I can't remember now. I got 3.5 points the last 2 weeks before tonight, so I finished 11th and 10th tonight, which rounds off the season nicely.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good way to close it out. And again, thanks for everything, man. Anybody want to thank real quick before we let you go?
Oh, well, I'd like to thank my teammate, Martinson. He's allowed me to come on board with the team, and we finished 5th in the constructors, which is a record for that team. And I would also like to thank my parents, but also my mum and dad.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, again, thanks again for coming in, chatting with us. Thanks again for a great season. I hope we get a chance to talk to you again here real soon.
Yes, I hope we are back with you guys next season. It's been a pleasure.
All right, everyone, and that is Evan Emre. Certainly one of the gentlemen instrumental in making this happen week in, week out here for AOR and GSRC. We hope we're back. But Soup, another exciting finish. Amjad and I were talking about this before the broadcast, and I think you were away for a moment. But the last couple weeks, man, we've had some great finishes on GSRC, and today we got another one here in the AOR.
Great finish on the track, great finish in the standings. And who wouldn't want to thank their mom and dad? I think that's a good lesson to be learned there. Hey, what we'd like to do right now is thank a few people. And one of them is the guys at Apex Online Racing for organizing the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. And for all the members who support the broadcast. We know that you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. And while this broadcast concludes GSRC's coverage of Season 5 Championship, negotiations are underway right now between GSRC and AOR officials for next season, and hopefully Sean, Amjad, and myself will be back to bring you all the Season 6 action. We certainly hope so because we have a good time covering it. Sean?
For more information about GSRC, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook. Type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll find us. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software that you see on the screen now and that we use on our broadcast. And remember, the original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to the great Erica Colm and the amazing Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
And finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you, the viewers, for watching. And with that said, for the final time this season, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.